Let's play a game of vampire.
This is my domain. When you are here, you listen to me.
I'm still really new at this. Could you perhaps maybe repeat yourself, please?
You trying to threaten me? Oh, that's very cute.
Is this even real? Is any of this real? Who are you?
Honestly, darling, it's not that hard. You just need a bit of finesse.
I'm sorry, Lazarus. I never meant. I'm so sorry.
You think that you are invincible, Vice, but you are just a man as you have always been.
Oh, hello! Hi. How's everybody?
Hello.
Hi!
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to sad, emotional Salem by Night. Where, rest in peace, Kyler. He failed. He was a great man. He just couldn't handle being in Mads O'Shea's apartment, surrounded by her smell and her underwear.
What the fuck?
He's perished.
So we gather today
Rip.
to remember
Epson
him.
chat.
To remember him. And the heart attack, the massive one that he suffered upon smelling her clean and dirty laundry.
Oh, Jesus.
Kyler, you were a good one. You'll be missed.
God.
I'm kidding, he's fine, but he did have a really good time. And don't worry, I'll allude to the things that fucker has gotten up to in Mads O'Shea's apartment, because you can bet your bottom dollar ass that he 100% was there. I'm Void Doll, your host and storyteller. Welcome to my channel, where we play Salem by Night. If you were there yesterday when we did our, almost 7-hour, 8-hour one-shot stream, a look into Mads O'Shea's backstory and the touch beyond the veil, the oblivion that calls. We have seen pieces of it. We have heard the beckoning, the kitty, and the maniacal laughter that made manifest, frightening Viola, causing her to feel things only humans feel. Take that as you will, chat and Viola. Is that a good sign? I suppose we'll see. But there is one checklist, one tiny clear box that I do need to check as a storyteller for Mads O'Shea reaching into oblivion. Oblivion is not to be done lightly. Regardless of the Malkavian's 4th, 2nd, 6th, and 8th sense, yes, there are that many. Don't ask me why. It's not in the rule book. I just made that up to sound cool. Regardless, Malkavians see what is not there. They know something that is beyond just our primal natural senses. Lurking just below the sea of everything that we know is vital and real. There is a beyond. Every kindred is plugged into this in a way, but there are none plugged into it quite so much as La Sombra. But it is an unnatural occurrence, and because it is something that is unnatural, it is therefore the antithesis of humanity. Mads O'Shea, you have received 2 stains for reaching into oblivion, for touching a piece of reality that shouldn't be allowed to exist, but it does. An unknowable eldritch attachment, a power so vile and so dark that it very well could coat all that we know and all that we love in a darkness of forever. Viola, you as well. must do something for me.
Yes.
You must mark 3 superficial willpower damage. Having spoken to Oblivion and survived. You survived because your presence, your majesty, a buffer against that which is unseen. Though your ability to sway Oblivion, to push your will upon it, is lacking because it is almost an unknowable entity, you still were able to protect yourself, so you do not suffer any stains like Matt's, but your will is damaged. You do have a migraine, which is not natural, neither is it normal for a kindred. Go on, cat, get out of here. Forgive me, that's IRL, OCC break. Back to me. Let's recap. The recap that we're going to do is the same as last time, where it's called a live recap, where each player talks about what their character did in the session, and we do a quick round robin with a popcorn. Try to keep your recap no more than 5 minutes, and then we dive right into the session. So from beginning to end, what your character did. All right. We are going to start this time with Lukas.
Okay. So unfortunately, the coterie failed to inform me that our getaway vehicle was very damaged from an incident as we went to go provide aid to, as Viola presented to us, Mads being in danger. Second Inquisition was involved. As we get to the scene, there was a lot of unfortunate, we're cut off from reaching them, but come to find out they made it to the hospital. Skipping a few things from time to place, as we leave the scene trying to get back to them, Lukas is a terrible driver, apparently, and got pulled over for a brake light. And as we leave and skid away from the cops, we trigger an entire police chase. As Dr. Fletcher hangs out the side of the vehicle, firing blood magic, as I try to evade every cop that chases us down. And then as we ditch the vehicle, I kind of set it on fire to get rid of the evidence. The distraction, burning a couple buildings. But I do it again, probably. Speaking of Dr. Fletcher, I'll give it to you.
Honestly, I think you covered our little excursion pretty well. I don't know what much else to say. Mads, why don't you take over?
We're still at the club, and it seems that a new fear has settled within me. Realizing that the Second Inquisition and the man I had tried to, I guess, trick into forgetting, something was blocking my powers. Where I wasn't dead, I used what strength I had left to reach behind me and call to an old friend. Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. Laughing, screaming, and suddenly everything was black. From what I can tell, everyone was terrified of me. I don't remember. But Viola told me that I killed everybody inside that building. The scratches on my face from her slapping me say a lot. But the look she gave me, she's terrified. I don't know what I've done, but all I can feel is shame. And Vice, he won't even tell me. What makes me so damn special that killing a building of people is okay? What makes me so special that the fear that Viola showed on her face wasn't anything but terrifying to myself? At least I know I can do one thing. Maybe I can bring Blythe her father back. Blythe, go.
Sorry, I didn't know. Well, let's see. It was quite an eventful evening. In such a short span of time, I spent some time with Lukas and the doctor, and we were going off to save Viola and Mads, just to find out that they had already been rescued, and through the mass chaos that was the police chase, and the buildings that we caught fire. I mean, I in my defense, I did not start that fire. One previously, yes, but not this one. And I just hope that lady and her cats got out safely, like the others told me that she would. And when we got back, everyone was gathered. There was some kind of argument going on between Mads and Vice. It was real personal, though. I didn't want to listen in too much. But I know that the sun's going to be coming up soon, and I think that's our next plan, is to rest for the evening, though I can't help but be eager and excited about the fact that I might be able to talk to my daddy soon. So I guess that's going to move it on over to Viola.
It just happened all so fast. I don't even know how to explain. We saw death incarnate, this man that embodied everything, a real, true death. And everyone was gone. Our kind was gone. And a part of me feels broken, as if, why was it not me? Why did these people have to die? I have much more blood on my hands than them. And then it all devolves into chaos. The darkness consuming everybody. Just screaming, the bullets. The dark voices telling me that I was worth nothing. That I would never, ever be nothing or anything. Telling me that I should be scared. And the one person who brings hope, who keeps this all together, the one person who could turn the tides, a monster. And I felt for the first time not just superficial fear, but fear that seeps deep down into your soul. I felt meaningless. And as we venture back to the hospital, I got lost in thought. And as we got back, I was reminded that I'm just glad that I have allies. But I don't know what to think of this side of Mads. I just hope that we can do something, that the doctor can help with, give some light about what's going on, that maybe saving Blythe's father can bring us information closer to our goals, and that the findings from Lukas and his team can bring us the final piece to bring down Elizabeth. All right, storyteller.
Welcome to Xirus's Manor. A beautiful, massive sentinel deep in the woods. Guarded by biometric locks and armed ghoul mortal guards, though the captain of those guards, Michael, has recently lost his life. And because of this, there are no guards to be seen on the property. It is only the locks in place. So Xirus, as you bring your key to the door, you feel your hand shake. Tonight, you have driven. You have been driven. And you can only remember her and what it felt like. What it felt like to lose her, even though it was ultimately an accident. And you remember what it felt like to lose Michael. To have your daughter in this very property fighting for her life against some profane filth. Not even a kindred, a lick. A lick that is a kindred slur. But these kindred have very little humanity, regardless of when they were changed. And the symbols they left behind, you haven't really had time to take a look at. Who sent them? Why did they know you? How did they find your manor? Still questions. So you tremble, Xirus Fletcher, as you unlock the main doors, double-sided, and you swing them open. It is an antechamber that then pours into a, how do I say it, foyer?
That was beautiful.
Okay.
Foyer.
Yeah, I was getting roasted, by the way. In
I'm sorry.
private chat, I was getting roasted for calling it a foyer.
It's because it's
I'm going to call it a
American.
foyer out of spite.
Don't call it a foyer. God, please no. The
I
French
know
in
what
me
the foyer
hurts.
is.
Wait, is it a
Foyer.
foyer?
It's a foyer.
Yeah, it's the foyer.
Foyer.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what, yeah, we said.
As the antechamber spills into the foyer, it is a very masculine, minimalist, and dark style. Deep greens, blacks with subtle hints of red, and objects that are lightly colored. These kind of objects are the lace doilies that belonged to her, Xirus, and immediately your eyes fall to one of the last gifts you received. A bowl for your keys, a wooden one that she carved at a class that she took several summers ago. There's also the really shitty clay cup she made you, and you know exactly where it was before those kindred broke it. She is the one who picked out the colors of your entire home, and she thought it would be fun to put just touches of her. And you remember her words. Won't it be fun? Our guests will come into the foyer, look around, and they'll notice the white doily. I mean, it doesn't match. But what you'll be thinking is me in this negligee. You have to shake yourself from the memories, Xirus, clearing your throat as you welcome these near strangers and closest allies into your home. I want to know everyone's reaction, but mostly I want to know Val. What does Xirus say? What does he feel in this moment as everyone begins to pile in?
For those who are being perceptive of Xirus would notice his pause, his moment of lost in thought, as he places his key in the bowls. His keys in the bowl. And... Right. Well, welcome. Should be safe here. But, please go ahead and find the room. We have plenty.
If you'd like anyone to roll a wits and an insight to pick up anything, you can set the DC.
Hmm. Yes, as I said, master bedroom at the top floor. End of the hall to the left is mine. There's the study, but we should have enough guest rooms. Please make yourself at home. Right. Yeah. Kind of walks off. I'm sure you guys would see. It's kind of like exhaustion from everything that's been going on. Being home, recalling everything is that moment of respite that allows you to realize just how much you've been through, kind of thing. And yeah, he starts making his way to the study.
All right. Some have rolled wits and insight. Those of you that have, if you'll please post them in Vampire Chat.
Is this to roll for, like, emotional state? By chance?
Yes, but I'm not going to allow
Okay.
you to use any disciplines.
It's not a discipline. It's a skill. Like a...
Oh yeah, you
It's
can
an
add your
I-
if you have your motives.
Your
That yes,
specialty.
the specialty.
There's
of-
one that says emotional state is the second one, yeah.
yes.
Okay. And question about adding the hunger die. Am I adding that to this thing too?
Yes.
Because okay.
And just my idea here, Val, is can they tell he's thinking about someone? And if they are, those that were with you in that attack where Michael lost his life, like Blythe, would she assume this is about Michael? Some things to consider.
Yeah, I think. Well, the Malkavians, obviously, with the roles.
What do you mean? Wait, what are you talking about? Huh?
Oh, just things. I definitely think Blythe would catch on about Michael. There's definitely thoughts there. But I think Mads would notice the subtleties of, for example, the bull. Like there's something more to certain, like, little details that he is definitely thinking about.
My question for you:
Something more meaningful. Yeah.
would he touch more of those little details that she's left? For example, the picture frames that clash with everything. They're brown, like brown, but they have a gothic style and swirls around them. Would Dr. Fletcher touch those? Would she notice that? That he lingers on
she
these
would.
pieces. Okay.
He'd be the type that, like, as he puts the keys down, he'd be like adjusting some of the things, kind of like repositioning them.
Ugh, man, you're killing me.
He's
now.
he's
I'm dying.
he's
So sad.
he's the type that's like, a little OCD, but and that's why the clashing of colors and such, it's kind of peculiar why he would have that in his room, his home. But you can see the way he adjusts them, repositions them, organizes things, even the keys in the bowl. It's like he has reasons. There's something definitely more meaningful to it, to him, for those things.
Just for you, Val. I need to know where you immediately go. Do you go upstairs to show people their rooms? Do you go into the kitchen to check on that, Because the kitchen is the area where Michael lost his life, and I don't think the
Right.
island is fixed at all. I just want to know if you check there, because where you go will determine what memory I shove into your face right now.
Right now,
Mm-hmm.
he goes to his study.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He goes there normally. That's kind of his space. It is kind of his tranquil area, if you will.
Has she ever been in this room?
Absolutely, of course.
Okay. Have, you know what? I think I know on your consent form. We're just gonna. The scene that you remember in here, I'm actually gonna make you roll a d10 for. There are 3 different ones. One of them, an intimate spice. One of them, incredibly wholesome, and another that will hurt you very bad.
Oh, really?
What you've given me for your backstory, I have added to.
Absolutely. Let me see. Is it a D10?
Just a d10. Mm-hmm.
4.
Okay. Whenever you come into your study, it's typically one of the 3 memories. Ones that you hold very dear. Obviously, one of them is hard and whispered breaths that end with flesh meeting flesh in this beautiful array where you feel whole and seen. That's usually your favorite. The other is some of Emilio's first words, which happen to be "fuck daddy." So that was fun. It's a wholesome one, but the memory you remember this time, and maybe it's because you're so tired, or maybe it's because you rolled a 4. But it's her. Her face is drawn in tight lines. You remember getting up from your desk, even though it's moved positions from being over by the window to where it is now. Instantly alert to her worry and her fear. She's still clutching the phone, white-knuckling it, and you remember the way her cardigan no longer buttoned on the bottom. The bump of her womb too large to fit in her favorite pants or her favorite shirts. A happy, excited promise of Emilian getting a little brother. But before the accident that changed everything, there was news. And you've thought since then, maybe if it was she didn't need the doctor appointment, maybe she wouldn't have been out that day. Maybe she would still be here. But you remember the call and her voice quivering when you asked her what was wrong. And she said that she was sick. Xirus, you find your eyes closing, your teeth grinding as you inhale, and when you exhale, you try to push the memory away. But what else do you do in your study?
He has this glass of whiskey. These really fancy glasses and such. As he grabs the bottle of whiskey, he goes to his desk, and in the top right shelf of it, he pulls out it. And inside, it's a wooden cup. It's not as well made as the crystalline glasses that were part of the set of the bottle he has. For a moment, he just puts it on his table and rolls it around. It doesn't quite stand straight. He pours himself a cup. And he drinks it, knowing it just doesn't quite hit like it used to.
Even with the modifications you've done to it so that your kindredness can handle it, it's not the same taking blood that's had whiskey in it and changing it. It's different.
To him, it's more of the act of it, as if mentally intimidating escape. And he sits there quietly in his study with it.
There is a small knock on the slightly ajar, heavy oak door to your study, and short tresses of bright fiery red makes an appearance.
Sorry.
He puts the cup away. Yes. How can I help you?
You're hurting. I just wanted to see if there was anything I could do.
His hand caresses his jaw, when he brushes his beard. With your roll from earlier, you can kind of tell this is his way of trying not to let those emotions take over his face. It's been a quite stressful time. And I have not yet been back home since. There are still rooms I have not revisited.
Tell me about her.
His eyes can meet yours, cannot, as he looks away. His mind, I think it's, from experience, he knows there's only so much you can hide from Malkavian. Well, she was the color in my life. She in the world of shades of grays and blacks and whites, and I've always been just a man with numbers and, books and knowledge, and she was the one that brought meaning to words. There is a reason why I do not like to drive.
She was hurt.
No. I'm sorry?
She was hurt.
Huh. I've lost her. Yes. Yes.
But she is not dead.
She is.
Mads would just walk over, totally invading his personal space. And she would just quietly hug you very, very tightly. You haven't lost her. She'd pull back and put her one hand on his shoulder and the palm of her hand on his chest. She's right here. She's right here.
No. I believe wherever she is safer. I've tried to keep my promise to Iris, to keep Amelia away from all this. I don't believe I've kept that well.
Some promises, even when we make them, unless you're me, you can't really predict the future. But you can't blame yourself. You're doing the best you can. And sometimes that's all you can do. Thank you
It's
for
not
keeping us
so
all
much.
safe.
It's not so much blaming. It's just it's my duty.
I understand. And she'd just pull him in for another hug. And she just says, sometimes it's okay to be gentle with yourself, Dr. Fletcher. I think she would like that. And she's just gonna walk away.
Before you reach the door, his voice will come out and say, you know, Mads, it's funny you say that because she would scold me on that constantly.
Maybe you're just a little too serious sometimes. Maybe
Perhaps.
she was scolding you to remember to have fun. Or to smile.
Perhaps. And moments before you leave and close the door, you would hear the top shelf of his desk open once more, and the sound of an object placed on his desk.
Mads, as you leave, and the door opens, you, Viola, and Lukas are all looking at each other. The two of them having supported silently from the hallway.
Sorry, I keep coughing. You all right?
I think he just needs some time. But maybe... I wonder... You had a wife too.
Yeah.
Maybe you two can talk sometime.
Oh, I know. I heard the gist. So I sympathize. He left, or he's dealing with it in his way. I deal with it my way. But we share that connection in a sense. I'll find time.
I think he'd appreciate that. Then Mads would reach out and hug Lukas and Viola. She's feeling very emotional.
Why you gotta hug?
Like, pull them both into a hug.
Jeez.
This is nice.
Whatever you say.
It's nice to have friends.
Uh-huh.
Good night. Mads is just gonna walk away.
I swear.
That's Mads for you.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I'm gonna find somewhere to sleep.
I'll just... Viola looks at the door and just kind of hesitates, and then, yeah, that's a good idea. I think I'll turn in for the night as well. I really would like a nice hot shower.
Yeah.
And so the coterie disperses throughout the manor. And the camera pans to a different room, where Blythe is standing over the island, still broken and shattered. Much of the battle remains. The table and chairs are broken, and you remember distinctly the smell of blood in the air and the feeling of hopelessness. What do you do in this room, Blythe?
Well, I think she's actually gone about like cleaning up some of the debris and rubble, like it just like moving it into a pile, so it's like at least in a pile. And she's just kind of, while she's doing so, she's just kind of quietly, to anyone not knowing, it would sound like she's talking to herself, but she's, in a sense, even though he's not necessarily there, she is talking to Michael, since that is where he passed. And she's just saying, don't worry, Michael, I haven't forgot about your family and what you wanted to tell them. I've just been a little busy. I still have your wallet in my purse. And, I'll make sure that those last thoughts you wanted passed on get heard by the right people. And,
Okay,
we'll
I need
Oh,
you to
sorry.
use Spirit's Touch. You need to make an
Okay.
intelligence and a Auspex roll, please.
Oh, I'm using it without trying. Oh, good.
You are a Malkavian.
I know. Sometimes we just do things we don't mean to.
I would
Alright.
also do this to Viola if she had Auspex. Does she? Let me see. Hold on. Present.
Nope, she does not.
Okay, because I know some Toreadors can as well.
Yeah, that's well. I'll discuss that later.
Ooh, maybe you can learn from Daddy Just kidding. Shh. What? Shh.
It's. We'll talk about it.
4.
4?
4.
Okay. He's there. He's sitting in the bookend kitchen window. So essentially, there is a mini dining room connected to this large kitchen that's sort of in its own nook, and each of the windows in there, though they bear a shutter that come down during the day, sealing this place like Fort Knox, they're open right now, and his spirit is lingering in one of the windows that have a little cutout chair in the frame. Pillows. Those pillows are one of those stand-out details from Xirus's past love. He doesn't affirm, deny, or speak, but he's there. You can feel it.
Well, I think she would actually move to one of the I imagine it's like a breakfast nook, so like there's another window seat across from him.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There's 4 total, 4 windows, little window seats. Yeah.
Okay. So she would probably, after noticing him, I think she'd move a couple more pieces of rubble and then like dust off her hands and then move on over and sit in the window seat across from him. And it's probably a long 2 or 3 minutes before she says anything else, but she says, we'll do what we can to take care of the doctor for you. I imagine you two were... I imagine you were close. If there's anything more that I can do for you as far as your family's concerned besides what I've already offered, I'm more than happy. You just let me know if there's anything I can do to help you pass more peacefully.
He turns to you. He kind of has a Labrador retriever expression, just by nature. Michael just gives big loyal dog vibes. He's a good man. He says, no, there's not really anything you can help me with. But did you know? There are a lot of ghosts that haunt all of you.
Well, I'm familiar with my own.
Oh. Well,
You say all of us?
yeah. I mean, here I am.
All right.
Can I tell you something?
Of course.
These, I don't even know what to call them. Missionaries, I guess. These two guys, they said I have a choice. That I can go or I can stay. Did you know that there's like a whole tutorial? Like they sit you down and have you watch a movie, give you a pamphlet, explain to you what happened. Crazy stuff. But I guess I have a choice. I can stay here or I can go. I don't really know what I want to do.
She kind of nods at that.
Can't really
That
talk
makes
to
sense.
anyone unless they're like you and they... I used to think psychics were nut jobs, and I guess I'm kind of grateful if they're not. I can't imagine what it'd be like to just watch.
Well, my proverbial door is always open. Because I've talked to people like you my whole life, Michael. I'm almost more comfortable with the past than I am with the current.
What would you do? Would you stay? Would you go? I mean, if you've talked to a lot of people in my position, would you stay? You know, do I just watch my kids? My wife? Xirus?
I think you need to do what probably feels right at the time. If you're not ready to walk away, you don't have to. But it might be more painful to stay. I don't know. But I imagine that watching your family grieve would be a hard thing. But if you can get past that, then staying and watching your kids grow might be good. But again, that's truly up to you and whatever you feel in your heart. I'm not going to tell you that it's better for you to just move on. I've never told anyone that. If it's better on your heart to stay a while, by all means. But if it becomes too painful, then maybe that's when it's time to go.
He looks at you in a helpless way. And then he leans back in the nook and he gazes out the window.
I just don't know. But I've discovered that if I'm close to someone like you, I can manifest, kind of, I guess. Not that I think anyone else can see me.
There's a chance that there might be a couple others I can think of that might be able to see you in the right circumstance.
Yeah.
I've just always been particularly special. I don't even have to try. You're just there. I've had more friends in people who have died than people who have lived. So if you need a friend before you decide to move on or stay or both or whatever, I feel like I'm pretty friendly. I'm happy to be here for you. But I do know ultimately the choice is up to you, and it's gonna be one of the hardest choices, if not the hardest choice you will have ever made.
He just nods, punches his knee a little bit, and he says no more. Slowly, the spectral image of him begins to fade. And you have a tingling at the base of your spine that it is time to find shelter, to rest.
She'll just quietly say, "Good day, Michael." And then she'll wander off and find a room.
Okay. Viola. You go to find a shower. There are 3. One downstairs and 2 upstairs.
I would take the one closest to my room.
Would you like to be resting downstairs or upstairs?
Which is the room I broke apart?
Have you guys rested here before?
Only Viola has rested here before.
Viola has rested here.
Okay, so the same room. That room has an attachment bathroom to it, so.
Okay, cool. I'll go to that one then. I'll go to my room and I'll go to the shower and I just start taking things off and my body starts shaking. Like it's like the everything that I've been holding in is just coming out, pouring out. And as she like starts the shower and is under the shower, there's like small sobs coming from her.
Is the shower warm or cold?
It's blazing hot. Like she's trying to not feel cold as much as possible.
Okay. You are not in the shower long before the lights flicker, shutting off, blink, 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 and then plunging you into darkness for several moments. When you feel a pair of hands wrap around your middle and a large masculine form press into your back. And the voice.
Why do you cry?
like I've just fucked up everything. I can't go anywhere. I just... This wasn't supposed to... It wasn't supposed to turn out like this. I couldn't save Emily. I barely saved Mads. Maybe she's right. Maybe I am nothing but a filthy Torador, and I hate... I don't want... I feel like nothing. Is it so wrong to... And I felt when I'm with you, it's different. There's a quelling. My beast is scared, but I know who I am and who my beast is are different people. And when my beast is scared, I feel more in touch with myself with you. But when all of that happened with Mads, I felt like I was not in touch with anything. I felt like nothing. And in a way, is it so wrong to be scared? Is it so wrong to have feelings and to have fear? I don't think so. It's what keeps people and animals alive. And it's just fear, as long as you don't let it overtake you, can be a strength. But in that moment, I almost let it just consume me. And I've never felt that emptiness. I don't know. I don't know what I am anymore. And that scares me.
Kadal makes a thoughtful sound and spins you in his arms, and just as he does so, the lights flicker back on, so you can see all of that bronzed, naked skin. With the tattoos, the scars, the lining. His hair is unbound and free, the curls dampening and getting longer, pulled by the weight of gravity in the water. His eyes are glittering. There is more beast than human behind those eyes. But I need you to roll a wits and awareness.
Okay. Using the clickety clacks today. Oh, my hands are shaking. Yes! Do not betray me! Okay, that is 4 successes.
Okay. He's trying to understand. He is an old kindred. You are a young kindred. Just know that he's trying.
It is natural to feel lost when something of ours is taken. Emily belonged to you. A touchstone to base your reality around.
And he cups your face. And he is wearing his gloves. He very rarely takes them off. So he's naked except for the gloves in the shower. Kind of weird, I know, but whatever. He continues, his fingers trailing down the jaw to your mouth, where he touches your lips and then presses his thumb to one of your fangs delicately, gently, his eyes following his movements, and the way he looks at you, Viola, is like you're his. Whether that is good or bad, I'll let you as the player and chat decide. But this Hansele,
says what you feel is understandable. And let me see if I can help make it better.
And he drops to his knees. And he nuzzles your lower belly. And he kisses.
In terms of the mind and the pain a mortal feels, I understand less.
And he kisses to your hip.
But I understand the beast tells us when we need to run. And it is easy to feel infestissimo to avoid.
And he kisses to the other hip.
That is natural. That is selection. The void is to be untouched, but to be harnessed as power.
And then he moves to the apex between your thighs. And I won't describe, but I'll let you use your adult imaginations.
You cannot blame yourself for your reaction. Any of us would have gawked. Understand this, though.
And he's very lazy with his menstruations. It's quite a few moments before he speaks again. And he's looking up at you when he does.
He says, just because Masquerade can reach into oblivion now does not mean it is her gift alone. I imagine Vice Brown will ask of me to train her, to teach her what it is to use the dark.
After all, and his eyes darken and glow, and there's a little bit of fading to black, a little bit of him lifting your thighs out of the way. I'll let your imagination take over, and when he's done, which is several minutes later, close to, oh my god, the sun's coming up, like we need to stop, minutes later, he admits to you, Viola, while he's cradling you, and his chin is against the top of your head, and his hands no longer bear the gloves, so they're all scarred, and the scars are like intense. You're not sure why you've never exactly noticed them, but maybe it was because everything was always heated and it wasn't so slow and sensual, sorry. But the scarring on the bottom of his palms, it's prick scarring, purposeful tribal markings all over the bottom. And then on the top, it almost looks like henna tattoos. So you're watching these hands caress you, and he's standing behind you at this point, and he says,
I am the one who taught Vice Brown how to see, how to feel. And if you continue to be mine, little squirrel, I can teach you what it means to see in the dark. You will always be afraid, and you will always be nothing in comparison. But take solace that we are all nothing. When we compare ourselves to the void is just a cup we get poured into.
That may be true. To the void, we are nothing. But to me, you mean something. And she kisses like the palms with the scars and puts it about her hand and just like has them stop like being like that intense moment and just be that intimate. And she continues and she says, to me, you are something. You're more than nothing. You mean a lot to me. You've given me a chance at a new family, a chance at something I would have never had without you. And for better or for worse, I'm grateful that I met you. And I hope that it's not just me belonging to you, but also having a place to belong. And You also belong to me, but not in the sense that it's just blood, but I want to show you what that means, or maybe what that felt like a long time ago. When I asked you, and she giggles, when I asked you about a date, is I want to take you somewhere. I want to show you things through my eyes. I want to give you a chance to see things as I do. Because I think you're the only one that sees me for who I am. And I want you to see more, and maybe, just maybe, you'll see something that gives you a little closer, keeps you here with me.
There is a slight smile and a flash of fang, and he grips your chin suddenly.
Then come. Take me before we rest.
And he pushes the shower curtain out of the way and steps backwards, his body dripping and slick as he rouses the blood.
Come. Show me with your fang who I belong to.
And he backs all the way up to the bed, and then he spreads his legs. And I'll let your adult imaginations take over.
Adult imagination. I'm not just
As he beckons you forward. And in your menstruations, whatever you decide to do with him, Viola, he does say to you,
he admits, I am comfortable being nothing. I find solace in not existing. It does not bother me. I do not belong. But I love that you belong to me.
and there it is. The beast. The kindred that Kadal is.
She gets, a little more aggressive. But she says, "You're more than nothing, at least to me. And yes, I may belong to you, but there's more to that. And I will show you that there's more to that." And she looks at him as if she's talking directly to the beast, and she says, "Because you are more than just feelings and instincts.
Oh.
And I will take you."
Oof. Okay. Roll a charisma. And go ahead and add your... Is there persuasion? Oh my god. There is, right? Persuasion?
I got my looks too, so I got dice on dice on dice.
Yeah, go ahead and roll that.
Alright, so we have alright, so charisma, persuasion. I'm gonna use my good old thank you. So that's 7, and then I have 4, so that's 11 dice. And I'm gonna do blood surge. I'm gonna be challenge a little bit. I'm gonna be like, hey, yo. Be a little challenge a little bit of that beast. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, we have just 11 dice. Oh, thank God. Yes. Okay. You guys are gonna have to help me here. Thank you. Maybe I should start rolling these more often. Okay, so that's 2 crits. That's plus single. And then Then 2, 3. Okay, and then because I really want to succeed in this, I'm gonna re-roll. I'm gonna spend one of my last willpower. How do I gain willpower again? Because I am running out of those.
You regain when rest. There's a certain number you heal of superficial willpower damage.
Yeah, I put 1. I think in the chat I listed that I had 1 more left, so I'm gonna use.
And then of course, chat any gifted subs, any resubbing. You can give any to Viola so that she has some to re-roll, or any of the coterie.
I'm just letting you know, chat. I'm using the last one you gave me last session. Just saying. Okay, that wasn't as good as I was thinking, but you know what? I'm gonna take it. All right, so I have 2 crits, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 2 crits, and then 7 just 1 onks. I don't know how much that is.
So that's 4, so 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 successes.
Yeah, 11 successes.
Okay. Okay.
11 sucks.
There's a softness. Your words reach a part of him that is still human, though he has been alive for a very long time. It is just a flash, less than a heartbeat, a quarter of a second. But it's there, and you witness it. And he reaches up, and all the ferocity stills when he touches your face.
And she kisses his hand, like, hand so gently, and she just kisses him gently. She actually goes very gentle this time, trying to draw that part out of him. Like, it's not just the usual carnal,
Right.
sexual tension, but
When you bend, when you move to his mouth, or whatever position you're imagining, when you move to his mouth, he does fist your hair and pause, keeping you there. And he's looking at you with this unsure expression, like he's not quite. And then he says, when I saw you on your knees, I wanted to kill you. Forgive me if I did not. And then he strikes your vein at your throat. And whatever solemn moments are left before the two of you are pushed towards the oblivion of rest that daylight just causes for kindred, it is spent entangled. Unneeded panting breaths, straining and coiling tension, and finally, for you, a release. He is far too old to experience pleasure beyond the blood. But he does take, and he does find a piece of something. As the shutters fall down over the windows for the day to protect you from the sun, Godal's body cools next to yours, falling into his day torpor moments before you. And his hair is incredibly curly, frizzy from the shower, and the lines of his face are relaxed, and even though there is very apparent age on his face, he looks peaceful, handsome.
I would say the last words she whispers in his ear, as she knows that he's in torpor. She says very, very faintly before I love you. And just goes into torpor.
Fuck. Damn. Oh, wow. All right. Lukas, before your torpor for the day, anything for you?
In the room he is in, does it have a closet?
Indeed.
Well, him being a big-ass individual, he will remove the contents of that closet and just lock himself up in there for the night, quote-unquote, right? It's a weird... And he's reflecting on hearing the story from Xirus to where he is now, and things finally resting. It's catching up to him, and he just needs an enclosed space away from everyone.
Okay.
Because something wants to tear out of him. Because he's exhausted.
As you settle in for the day torpor, your snap at does bing several times with messages from Kyler. You can look at them if you wish. You can choose to ignore them. Either way, they'll be there the next night.
Yeah, he's got all of his stuff laid out in front of him away And he's just and sitting in a position that he can when everything happens. He'll be okay to get up, kind of thing.
Okay. You find the surge and the welling under your skin actually hard to contain. But your body is simply too exhausted to do anything about it. But I do need you to roll a wits and insight, please.
Sure. I got a 1 success.
With a 1, you're not sure what it means. But it is... It is not a pleasant feeling. Not at all. You're afraid for your coterie as torpor takes you. Genuine, raw, undiluted fear. Violence is high octane in your veins, and it wants blood.
Awesome.
So whatever insight you would have gleaned is shut off. As your body simply switches the light, and you plunge into darkness. Xirus, how long are you in your study?
He would pretty much spend the whole night there. He would actually sit there.
Okay, so he'll let torpor take him while he's in his chair. Or does he have a futon or anything that he lays out on?
No, yeah, he would sleep in his chair.
Okay.
He actually barely sits in his own room now.
Understandable. Blythe and Mads.
Sleepover.
For some reason, Mads, you are drawn to the only bedroom on the bottom floor. It's neither large nor small, somewhere in the middle, with a bed wide enough that you and Blythe can rest upon. Is there any roleplay between the two of you before your daytime torpor?
Is Blythe already in the room, or am I in there first?
Blythe finds you only moments after you find the bedroom. Because you've wandered through everything, examining all the little pieces of Iris and Amelia. Iris, based on what you've seen, is quite the crafter. Knitting, making doilies. Even out on the deck patio, there's evidence of her. The casing of the pillows, even though it's weather resistant, are obviously homemade. And so you've picked up pieces of Iris and her personality, and you can imagine her laughter, the cadence of her voice. So even though you don't know her, you feel as if you've spent time with her in all these things, all these monuments, in this home. This home that very clearly Xirus has had for a long time. So you're in this room all of 10 minutes, still no sign of Lazarus Kane, when Blythe comes a knock-knock.
Hi.
Hi. I was just wondering if we were okay to have a sleepover again.
I think that'd be nice.
Oh, good. She'll come all the way in.
Mads goes over and fluffs up the pillows.
This bedroom also does have a sliding glass door out onto like the side of the patio, because the patio like wraps all the way around. Anyways, just so you know, small detail.
With like super shutters that come down, I imagine. Otherwise, that'd be terrible.
Correct. Yeah.
Shoot. How are you doing? He seemed awfully upset earlier. We haven't really had a moment to check in.
You've been gone.
Yeah, I got a little bit of information from Miss Julia, but you know, she didn't really seem to quite I don't know. She said that I was calling myself Jericho for a little while.
So she told you.
I don't think I don't think she had any inclination to not tell me, so yeah, she did. I don't really know the details, though. I mean, I described it because I asked her some questions, and she's like, "Have you been gone?" And I'm like, I feel like maybe, because, you know, the last thing I remembered was being with you in the hospital room. And then the next thing I remembered was the vehicle and all the crazy stuff that was going on in there. So, I mean, obviously there was a window of time where I was not self-aware. I just thought it was interesting that she said I called myself Jericho because,
He's been your friend since you were a child.
yeah.
Well, you should know. You of all people should know. Sometimes the things we think are just our imagination, they're real. Jericho was nice enough.
He's a little rambunctious, but he's a good guy.
Think of him as your protector. But Blythe,
Yeah, man.
you shouldn't dig deeper. Just know he's a friend.
Well, of course he is. He's always been my friend. He asked you to tell me not to dig deeper? Is that what I'm gathering?
Just for now. Just for now.
All right.
But I can tell you, he knows a lot of things.
He does, doesn't he? She like gets a big old smile. He knows all kinds of strange things. Wow, it's actually so cool, honestly, because for so long I always thought he felt, you know, real. He's always been real to me. And so I don't know, it's kind of great knowing that he was able to talk to y'all and know that he is real.
He's a part of you.
He is.
So, what's not to like about him? If he's your friend, then he's my friend.
Thanks.
I'm just glad you're okay.
Yeah, me too. I'm glad you're all right though. I guess you guys had quite a time at the club, so I'm glad that you and Viola are both all right.
She's
I would
scared
be-
of me.
Oh, I don't think you're scary at all.
I don't know if you know what happened.
I don't
But-
really know the details, no. That's okay.
Viola told me I killed a lot of people. And I didn't mean to. I really didn't mean to.
She just moves in to give Mads a hug and says, well, I know you didn't do that on purpose. If you did, it definitely wasn't intentional because you are just one of the sweetest people I've ever met. That is living. I guess we're not really. Anyway.
I think
That
we've
is-
mentioned that before. Living but not living, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say living. We're still living lives, even if our
Mm.
hearts aren't beating.
We can make our hearts beat. I don't know if you knew that.
Wait, for real? You know,
know-
this whole getting turned and then ditched thing, it's made it real hard learning how to become what I am.
I mean, the whole reason that we met Jericho in the first place was because I was trying to teach you, and apparently that didn't go so well. I don't know if you
Oh.
remember that.
Is that what triggered that?
I guess so.
Weird.
It was like watching The Ring. You crawled under the bed and suddenly you were like a crab walking on the floor. It was horrifying.
Well, that sounds way scarier than anything I've ever seen you do. Viola should be afraid of me.
And Mads is just laughing and like holding Blythe like on the arms, like both arms as they're kind of like staring at each other. And then she's gonna reach over and pull the blanket over Blythe and over herself.
Well, I guess I'll see you in the evening. Not the morning. Still working on that. In the evening.
One more thing, Blythe.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do everything I can so you can talk to your dad again.
Oh, thanks.
I don't
Remind me. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I don't know what kind of man he is, but I really hope that he's better than my dad.
Well, I do know one thing, real quick before the sun makes us asleep. I do know one thing. I did push for a vision while I was hanging out with him, and I did see him save me when I was just a little thing still from our home that was burning. So, I mean, he saved me back then, so he's gotta be good, right?
Yeah. He probably misses you a lot.
Yeah. I'm real excited to hopefully talk to him.
I'm excited for you.
How about if he's a good daddy, he can be your daddy too, and we'll actually be sisters. Oh wait, except for like Mr. Brown's like your daddy, and he might not like that.
You might get a little jealous.
Yeah, it's true. Never mind. We'll just be like, okay,
We
never
can
mind.
be sisters
We'll figure-
anyways.
Yeah.
Toe sisters, foot sisters, you name it. I'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
And with that,
Sleep.
Torpor claims most of you. But Blythe and Mads need you to roll a wits and awareness, and depending on how, depending on what you get, will depend on this small thing.
Wits and awareness?
Uh-huh.
Oh, baby, you're touching into my favorite skills right now. Oh shit! Well, we living on good times here.
Oh, damn. 4, 5, 7?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 successes.
Holy cow, 9 and 7?
Yeah.
Well, when Lazarus Kane comes into the room expecting to spend the day with Mads, he frowns as he sees long brown hair in what he would otherwise denote as his spot. And then there is a deep-bellied chuckle behind him and well, I guess you and I are just going to have to share the pullout. And Lazarus, fuck you. Well, I would, darling, but you're seeing my child. So anyways, the door shuts, and you hear Vice laugh and Lazarus grumble. As they have to share the pullout, because there is no time.
No. I was about to be like, you guys could join us with us.
As the pull-out couch is there, we get a long shirt. And with this, we'll be right back. Let's play a game of vampire. Welcome back, everybody. Without further ado, all of my kindred, you must make a rouse check.
I made it today. Yay.
How do you do that again?
You just roll a regular die, and if you succeed, then you're not more hungry. If you don't succeed, you get another hunger.
That's
I'm aroused.
I am also aroused. Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
Those of you that
Arousal.
failed, your hunger increases by 1.
Just another day at 2.
And we will begin the day with Lukas. I need you to roll a resist frenzy.
Cool. I win.
What'd you get?
4 successes according to the sheet.
All right. You wake up on an explosive tide. A snarl rips through your throat, filling the room. Your limbs flail and lash out. Surprisingly, you do not break the closet. And also you resist. But this is not a typical frenzy for a kindred. It feels wrong. Lukas, I need you to roll another wits and insight.
I got 1 success again.
You still are unsure of what's happening. The barely veiled violence bubbles once again below the surface, ready to rear its head at a moment's notice. It is an unrecognized threat. Even though you have removed your stains, you gain another one this evening, as you are an unbridled emergency and accident waiting to happen. That being said,
Cool.
what would you like to do now that you've awoken for the eve?
His pride as an individual, he will, when he removes himself out of the closet, gathering his stuff, he kind of like pushes everything away, like furniture-wise, to give him as much space as he can. And he's just sitting on the floor in kind of like a meditative state, trying to just be at peace, trying to dull his rage, kind of thing. Just taking time, even though he's fighting the urge to let it take over, like a give and take kind of thing.
Roll a composure and resolve, please.
Oh. I got 2 successes.
The meditation does enough. Putting yourself firmly in control for now. But it is just lurking in the sea of your soul, waiting for your weakness.
Okay.
But at least you feel safe to see the coterie without instant violence.
Oh, he'll also check his phone.
Do you open Snap at?
Yeah.
Okay. We're starting right into the fuckery.
Yeah.
All right. It is a completely different feeling as you open the phone. The first image is Kyler being like, "Look, I don't want you to be mad. Don't be mad at me, okay? But I am live here." And behind him, you see this kind of nice apartment building, walking up these cement steps with an iron railing that he's sort of swinging in like it's a rainy day, like that one song, "Singing in the Rain," which he's humming, by the way. I'm at Manselshay's, it's a glorious day. And Nyx is like, "Hey, can you shut the fuck up, please? And help me with this cat?" What do you... He's like, "You mean the cat food, not the cat." She's like, "No, I brought the cat. You brought my cat. What the heck? Nyx." And the Snap-at shuts off. Then you have another one like an hour later, and it's his cat and Mad's cat glaring at each other. And he's like, "I think they're getting along." And he just details every single moment of his day until finally the last Snap-at of the day, quote unquote, is him laying on the couch. And then suddenly it changes, and it's him laying in someone's bed, which you can only fucking imagine whose. And he's wearing this pink little lacy thing because you can see the tops of his shoulder. He's wearing not his clothes. And he's like, "Lukas, I just want you to know, man,
I'm really glad you're in my life. You're probably my best friend. I'm really tired. But look, I got company. And it is Mads O'Shea's cat, very angrily looking at him through the canopy like he is a vile pustule resting where he doesn't belong. Anyways, the cat looks pissed. I think she likes me. Or he, I don't know. But yeah. Oh shit, I'm running out of time. Another snap at. I just want to say thanks. You know, because this whole crazy... Everything's crazy. Yeah. I'm just really glad I'm in the crazy with you. I also don't want you to feel like I'm gonna get a divorce. And then there's another snap at. Because I'm living out my male fantasy here. Sleeping in Mads O'Shea's bed. I'm not gonna divorce you. She's just really attractive, okay? Like, she's hot, and she's crazy, and I like that a lot. And I shouldn't. Anyways. I just want to ask you as your, another snap at, wife, because that's what I am, to not tell Julia. Sorry, the DM is laughing. I just want this to be a gift to me, okay? I know my birthday is in like 10 months. Or whatever. But if we could just let me live out my fantasy, I'd really appreciate it if you didn't tell Julia, because I think I have a chance. And then you hear, blah, 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 and he's like, fucking cat, stop, I'm sleeping here. And then the last snap at is actually Mads O'Shea's cat attacking him. And he's like, oh God, Lukas, ah! So, that's the end of the quote-unquote day. You have some from this evening.
Oh God. I'll check those too. How many is there?
There's like 20
Okay.
plus.
He's just gonna sit there, trying to keep himself not going anger, you know, and just looking through these.
Okay.
Because it just dulls his brain.
There's also something about it that even though you're losing brain cells, watching him to his audience of one detail everything that he's doing really for you, it's grounding. This guy's a touchstone whether you want him to be or not, Lukas. And fuck him, he's so dumb. Literally records himself making coffee at her house, records himself washing her dishes and her laundry and doing these menial chores, like sets it up and does a little dance and like hands over the head dancing so you can see like a peek of his little stomach. And he's just like, woohoo, living his best life, man. And the time that he takes to like edit some of the videos he sends you, like, ridiculous. Nyx obviously is in some, so is Ileana, but Ileana keeps shooing them and saying that she's warding against spirits. And Kyler's like, I don't sense any spirits. And she says, that is because you are unwise and you are blind. And he's like, I'm wise? What do you mean? You know, there's like a moment he goes to Buck's Stars and he gets himself a frappe and he gets the cat a pup cup because he's got Mads O'Shea's cat in a sweater and his cat in a sweater and it's the get along sweater. And they're not exactly fighting because they all have mittens on their paws, so they're just slapping each other really hard with the whap, 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 whap sound. He's trying his best. It is an adventure, to say the least. And then the final snap at for the daytime that you were resting, when he wasn't napping himself, is actually him admitting, quote unquote, he's like, okay, so it's like, what, 3, 4? You're going to be awake in a couple hours. But I got kicked out of the house by the girls. So I'm alone. And I'm bored. So I'm going to go to the bar. And I'm going to get drunk. But I'll be undrunk by the time you're awake. So you won't divorce me. I also lost custody of the cats.
apparently taking them to the coffee place is a bad idea. Yeah. Anyways, going to Benny's. Wish me luck.
Not. Oh, man.
And that's the last one you receive from him. And I actually need you to roll another wits and insight.
That man makes me crazy. So I'm going to use that chat reroll that I got earlier.
Okay.
Because I keep rolling like shit.
Okay.
Okay, I got 3 this time.
Ah, with a 3. He sends you a snap at about once an hour, plus. You haven't had any since about 4:50 p.m. when he decided to go to Benny's. And when you check your text messages, at nightfall, you received a message from Ileana and Nyx, both of them asking if Kyler is with you.
I will calmly say no in the text because I was going through this reel of stuff. And ask them to see if they can locate them with his GPS of his phone. And let me know. If not, I will be on the way.
Nyx messages back almost immediately. She says, "We checked the GPS hours ago. There is nothing." They also went to Benny's, and they didn't find him.
I will message them his location and or whatever so they can come get him because he needs to find Kyler.
Okay. On our way. Xirus.
Yep.
When you rouse from your torpor, you feel the gurgling hunger deep within. It takes a moment for your body to work out the stiffness as the vitae returns you to the night you died, forever unchanging. And you remember everything all at once. It's the same weight that settles across your shoulders, bearing down on your spine, gravity tenfold. But you notice something. The cup that, like so many other nights you fall asleep holding, has been moved out of your hand.
I look around, wondering kind of like why.
Beyond the room being a little colder than normal, you don't see anything askew.
He's not sure what to make of it, but seeing as nothing's odd
Just the cup.
per se, yeah, he would just he would I guess he would just get up and think about like, oh, you should probably check on the rest. He'll go out of his room.
Okay.
Study.
You step out of your study, which is on the bottom floor, and the girls' room, Blythe and Mads, you hear them stirring, so we slide there. Blythe, Mads, both of you rouse almost at identical times. However, Mads, you rouse with a start. A swift jerking that yanks your chest towards the ceiling and arcs you into a bow, and you feel like you're back at the club, and oblivion is whispering around you. Though the memories, or maybe nightmares... Do kindred have nightmares, you wonder? And the answer comes swift. You are nothing but a corpse, stirred awake by the sorcery of your vitae in the evening. You should not have nightmares. But it is a lingering memory stamped upon your very marrow.
Are you all right? What? What?
Do I remember everything that happened in the club? Storyteller?
Not exactly. It's still blurry, just like it was a big blank hole earlier, like when you got out of that statue-like state. It's literally like the feeling, lingering anxiety and panic when you know you've had a nightmare but you can't remember the details. It's fuzzy. It's heavy. It's a tight coil in your chest, ready to spring forward and punch out into the night.
So you would see Mads kind of... that heavy breath, that unnecessary breathing, that gasping for air. And her eyes brimmed with blood. And you just hear her just... and she'd kind of curl into herself.
I give her a hug. It's all right.
Sorry.
Nope, no sorries here. Mm-mm.
Have you ever just forgotten something? And you just can't... You can't even figure out what you've forgotten. It's just a black hole in your mind.
Blythe kind of nods. Yeah, yeah.
I don't think there's a year that's gone by where I can remember everything. It seems I'm always forgetting. I just...
I feel like that is it's almost, I don't know, it could be seen negatively, but I kind of like to hope that it's more of a blessing, like it's our brains trying to, I don't know, maybe protect us from something we're not ready for, something that might hurt us.
When Blythe says that, Mads looks at her like Jericho.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
She like makes a face, that actually might explain a lot of things that I don't remember. Come to think of it. Trixie. Here. She like rolls over and pulls out of her purse a black handkerchief. Here you go.
Am I crying again?
Well, you were definitely about to. They're welling up.
How hideous.
Nah. It's just more inconvenient now because, we cry blood instead of regular tears, so all my handkerchiefs are black.
In public and just crying blood, people are gonna think we're fucking... Well, I guess we're monsters anyways. Well,
I mean, it's only one step above what they already thought of me. It's fine.
me too. To be honest, I don't think anybody ever really thought of me. Well, sorry to scare you awake.
Oh, no, I'm just glad that you're actually all right. I was ready to sit up and start a fight if I had to. I'm not a good fighter, but I was prepared to if I needed to.
You can hear most of this, Xirus.
He just walks in.
So there's a
Good morning.
quiet knock, and then your door's open.
Oh, evening, Doctor.
So you picked up basically the two talking about amnesia and the gasp from Mads as if she was in pain. But they seem, when you open the door, they seem fine. Nothing askew. And even looking around this room, Xirus trying to assess if there's any thing out of place, like your cup. It's clear here.
Is everyone okay?
I'm sorry. Did I wake you?
No. I was already getting up.
Are
Are
you
you
okay?
Yes.
Just... Maybe you can answer my question, Xirus.
Sure.
Do you think that... Do you know if it's possible to get back your memory?
To get back your memory. Have you lost something?
I think so. No, I know so.
Well, there are many studies in this area. A lot of trials have been made. Not many that are the most, what's the word? Maybe successful in doing so. From hypnosis, electric shock therapy, and drugs, therapy even. But I'm not an expert on this.
What about memories that were taken from you?
Taken.
Like hidden in a box behind a wall. Locked away.
Interesting.
I thought with your skills and maybe your maybe your clan, you would know.
I have, don't believe I've done much research in, studying into this, but, you feel like it's blocked away, you said.
Sometimes I guess you could call it nightmares. That's
Interesting.
kind of just flashes of memories, blurs, things I can't really grasp, but they're hiding. Like Pandora's box.
You see. Interesting. Well, do you mind if I... And he, approaches, Mads.
She's just kind of looking up with like these big giant doe eyes, like her head's like tilted back, like she's looking up because she's still kind of sitting on the bed, and she's cross-legged with her hands in her lap, like a little kindergarten student.
Well, I'm not sure what I can do, but do you mind if I attempt?
Okay.
He kind of brushes her hair back as he puts his hands to her temples, and he's more trying to kind of feel the blood in her head, in her brain, and see if he can sense any obstructions or anything like that. Is this something he can try, Sir Teller?
So he wants to like see if there's actual like something like medical blocking her, or see if there is like legitimate like vitae fuckery.
And perhaps both, right? It's more of just understanding through the vitae in her body, and especially around her brain, if something's off or if there's something that he can do. He's just kind of more sensing, you know? If that's, I don't know if that's
You
something
can
he
do
can
it,
do.
but you will need some of her blood. Just a taste.
He will then pull out the scalpel that he always carries on him.
What's that for?
You just need a sample, if you will. Of course, with your permission.
Are you going to drink it?
Just a taste.
I
need to understand.
Mads looks at Blythe. Oh, we can't hear you, by the way, Void, if you're talking.
No, I'm not talking.
Oh, okay. I could hear. Oh, it was just lighting up. Okay, sorry. She looks at Blythe, and then she looks at Xirus, and she says, I gave Blythe my blood once, and, well, that didn't go so well. I'm just worried for your safety.
I understand.
If you need it.
I'm sure he'll be fine. He's a lot older than I am.
Do you trust me, Mads O'Shea?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. She'll hold out her arm, her hand and palm face up towards him, Whatever you need.
He takes her hand and makes just a very delicate, small incision in her thumb. And before he continues, he pauses as if, like, reassuring her and making sure she's okay with it. Like he's a doctor. He knows how to mindful for the patient's feelings and consent and all that. He just looks at her with that pause for a moment.
She nods, silently nodding.
He nods back. Neo will then take a taste of her blood.
Okay, I need you to roll a rouse check to rouse the blood so that you can use your blood potency. Okay, so you become hungrier. It's already automatically applied. I need you to make an intelligence and a science check. No. Instead of science, I'll have you do intelligence and your blood sorcery plus your potency. So that's an extra 3 dice for your potency.
We're rolling.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 dice.
How do I do this on this thing?
So you want to click intelligence. Second attribute. Hold on.
Intelligence.
Nope, I lied to you. Cancel. Click
Cancel.
the blood sorcery. It says roll. Dice pool modifier. Oh my gosh, you can only do +5. Do you have real?
That's why you have to do just the regular D10s on that one, right? Because I think you can only have like a maximum of 5 dice. I think we saw yesterday. It was bollocks.
Let me see if this works. Does that work? Ah.
Nice.
You don't have to take my roll if you don't want to. I was just...
How do I do it?
Slash roll
10d10?
10d10. Yeah. One, two... Hold on. Anything 6 and above. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do you guys have your virtual dice on so that people can see when you're rolling?
Do I?
It's in the gear. It says dice option. Enable advanced dice. Enable 3D dice.
Yeah.
I have mine automatically roll 3D dice.
Got it. It's on.
So let's everyone quickly test that just for fun. See if it'll roll some dice. Nice. And then you just click the screen and it'll take it off.
Oh, I don't even know how to do that.
So slash roll, no spaces, and then a space, and then a number. So put like 3D and then 10. And it'll pick a color for you based off of your color down below. So my color is like that purple.
Did mine do it?
Yours is not turned on, so go over to your gear. So if
I did turn it on.
Okay, yeah, the gear, dice options. Doot, doot, doot.
Yeah, I have it.
Oh, there's specters. There's not chance.
Why is mine? Mine is even turned on.
I don't know.
It doesn't like me.
But ooh, nice. There it is.
Nice.
There we go. They rolled. Hell
Okay,
yeah.
Val, I also sent you a message real quick.
Do I need to see the message? Is it in character stuff?
No.
Oh no. Oh, okay.
It's I have my willpower from chat when I subbed. When I gifted a sub, so I just was giving it to Xirus to use.
Oh, if you want to use it, Cyrus, and roll more.
Uh,
So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes.
how would I do this?
So
So you,
go ahead.
say you keep the 5 that you have, and because it's a chat resub, you can re-roll as many as the other ones, right? Void Doll, you said that?
Correct.
Right. So any of the ones that you didn't succeed in, you could take
So
those
I
and
got
roll
5.
those again.
So I'll just reroll 5.
Yeah.
Sure. One more. So 6.
Okay. 6 successes. 6 successes. And you are trying to see if they were purposefully taken. If this were D&D, I would ask you right now what your armor class is. As it is not, I need you to make a frenzy check. As you taste and you push into her mind to see, there is a screaming howl that penetrates your brain telepathically, and were this D&D, you would be taking psychic damage as a beast tells you not to touch what is his.
Oh shit.
So I'm resisting frenzy roll.
Yep.
There's a pull size modifier to this?
Because you rouse the blood, you get to add a dice.
Add 1.
Yep. Wow, look at that frenzy check that I just rolled for you. Holy shit. 5 successes.
That's pretty neat.
Okay.
Yeah.
You resist the frenzy, the panic, the pain. A powerful kindred does not want her to see. But you roll high enough to know that there are directives in her brain, subconscious rules and directives that when met under a certain circumstance, she will do regardless of her own free will. Likewise, there is an unnatural stain, a wrongness, connecting her to the veil. What happens not in your mind, Xirus, you are thrown 20 feet out the door through the room, smashing into the wall, concaving the wood with your back. For you, harmless. You take 1 point of superficial damage as you straighten and stand on the stone tile floor. Mads is looking at you with a look of not herself. Someone else is looking at you through her eyes. And in Mads' voice, you can tell the masculine cadence as it says, "Back off." Blythe, you feel
Yeah,
you feel a
I'm
little
right there.
nervous. You feel a little nervous because you're right next to
Yeah.
Mads, who's not really Mads, and
I'm right there. I'm like, "Whew."
you can't help but take a step out of the bed. Just, oh, okay. And then everything shifts in mad blink, blink, blink. And all of a sudden, her face goes slack and blank. And she looks over myopically to Blythe, like she doesn't understand quite what's going on.
I wave my hand in front of her. Is you? Are you back? Are you back with us? Is this you? Hello?
Hardly any recognition, almost a catatonic state, but her pupils do dilate. But there is no expression. It's like you're looking at a doll. And Xirus, it's your choice. Do you come back into the room to continue examining, or do you not touch it anymore?
I think he'll continue.
Okay. So stepping back in, it's your choice if you are going to use Sense the Unseen or your Blood Sorcery to push further. It will require another taste. But since we're in the same scene, you still gain that +3 bonus from your roused vitae to any roll you make.
Yeah, he would use blood sorcery.
Okay.
Something. If he would feel this entity is pretty strong, he definitely
Very,
needs to use his best.
very strong. Okay. Now I need you to roll another intelligence and blood sorcery as Mads, drawn through the movement of you returning, looks at you, but there is no recognition.
Is this the same 10d10, right?
Yes.
Storyteller, while he is rolling, I would actually like to slip from the room and go get the other powerful kindred that I know are in the building, aka Mr. Brown and Mr. Kane.
Storyteller?
I'm sorry, I was typing back at people. So sorry.
Oh,
Okay.
no worries,
You're
no
good.
worries.
We're
Good.
just making sure.
So the rest of the house is drawn. You're all drawn by that crashing, breaking sound. Viola, you literally rouse before Kadal in his arms. Like he somehow during the day very likely awoke to pull you into him. Which is soft, but it's short-lived because there's like this boom, 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 and you're like, oh, what the fuck? And you're like pulling on pants over your naked ass and shimmying into those.
I
and
would just put on a jacket. I would just
slapping
grab
it
whatever
on.
shirt or jacket and just run back to the room
What?
where I heard
All
the
right,
sound.
well, I'm making you put underwear on at least. You shimmy that on.
Shirt, it's fine.
Is it long?
Well, I don't know what sizes could I wear. I would probably take his stuff.
Oh, you're wearing his. Oh, yeah, his stuff will cover you. Phew. Okay, yeah. I thought you were putting your
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
on. I
yeah.
was like, what the hell? You wear a belly short? I was like, okay.
I ain't covered shit.
Literally, I was like, okay, proof that her and Vice Brown are the same. Literally, Vice would show up in his pink underwear. Hi! Yes, okay. All right, you wear Kadal's things. Okay. My imagination is up to speed now. Okay.
I hope I woke you up.
All right, and in Inu, does Lukas propel into action as well?
As he hears the noise, he brandishes his gun and is tearing to whatever that noise was.
Okay.
He's kicked in.
So you and Viola are both like down the stairs, coming into the tile hallway, like kind of sliding in your bare feet and socks if you wore socks to bed, whatever. So you're there before this second roll is done, and Mads is just, she's there but she isn't. She's aware but she's not. And Blythe, when you go to find Vice, you can't find him. You do, however, get a chance to roll a intelligence and an investigation. Because Vice and Laz, there's no proof that they shared this is our get along pull out couch.
Sorry.
I got a 4.
4 is enough. In the backyard, there's a lake. Shivering, freezing cold. But there is a very naked Vice standing on the pier, smoking, and it's some distance away. You just happen to, like, catch a glimpse of him.
Right, I'm like running past the window and I'm like, wait!
Yes, and then you, like, backtrack, because, like, you know, the porch light is sort of, like, glinting off of his pale, very, very pale blonde hair. And then he sets the cigar down, and he jumps in the water.
It's in the water!
Yes. Yeah. And when you make your way, toward that, like, sliding glass door, the one that's not in your room, but, like, adjacent to the room.
Right.
Lazarus is running from the woods. his fists and his mouth bloody. He is totally shirtless. He makes eye contact with you. You make eye contact with him. He doesn't really. He literally looks like he's been feeding. You don't know what he's been feeding on. You don't even have to say anything, and he just panting says, "Mats."
She just nods.
And then he's like running past you. And, down, way down on the pier, unbeknownst to him, Vice is still in the water.
Yeah, I'm running down to the pier.
Vice!
Once Laz knows, I keep going to the lake.
Okay. So you'll get to Vice as the second delve into the brain happens. Okay. Everyone's up to speed. Cool. Okay. Viola. To assess what is going on, since you have some occult abilities, I need you to roll a wits and an insight. And if you roll high enough, you will be allowed to assist Dr. Fletcher. I know this is not a typical VTM mechanic, but I feel like it should be one.
Okay, so that is insight and occult, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Oh, I'm gonna do some 5d. Please. Work for me, baby. All right, that is 1 critical, and then. Okay, I got 2 criticals, and that's it.
So 4. Okay, so with a 4, Dr. Fletcher, you may add another 2 dice circumstance bonus to your roll as Viola lends you the supernatural ability of her vitae, more or less, but there is no blood exchange necessarily significant. But Viola,
Can I say that I'm like holding her hand and looking like into her eyes and like trying to like talk to her?
right, but you do need to bite your thumb or allow Dr. Fletcher to like bite your thumb or get it bleeding a little bit, a dot to give to him in order for this to work.
Absolutely. Without question.
So it would be Dr. Fletcher also letting that happen. It's up to you.
How would she offer it to him? Because he's just kind of focused on Mads right now.
She would turn to him and she would just like cut her own wrist with her fingernails because she has claws, for fingernails, and just offer and just like say, "Doctor, take it. You're gonna need it."
He quickly glances at her and goes, sensing just the overwhelming power of this entity of sorts. He'll take it. This is something he feels like he doesn't want to leave to chance, So he'll take her by the wrist and take some of her blood. That didn't help. Thanks.
You can use willpower on your sheet. It would cause superficial damage, but you'll be able to re-roll 3 of your dice.
Okay, so if I take the willpower, do I also? You're saying superficial damage? Do I take 1 health damage? Is what you're saying?
Yeah, it's just 1 click, like 1 little dash. So when you do the
Of
X
health?
Of willpower.
Okay.
So just click
Oh,
one of
is
the
that
boxes.
what superficial? Just willpower? Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
Okay. So then I technically had 2 because I took from earlier, right?
Yesterday or today?
Today, when I was lunch, you said I took
oh.
a superficial damage.
You did.
Is that the same as?
That's health. Superficial health.
Okay, that one is.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just trying to make sure I understand those 2.
You got it.
Okay. And then I get to reroll 3, you said?
Yes. 3. So
1 more success.
Okay, so that's 4 successes total.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's 6 successes. Your
Um,
previous roll.
Previous roll. Anything
over
6 and
Oh,
above.
Yes. 1, 2, Oh, you're right. I'm dumb.
4.
I was like, 5! Wee! No.
I wish.
Okay, so it is 4. All right. Lukas, are you in the room?
Yeah.
Okay, Lukas, Xirus, Viola. All of you are thrown back, smashing through the door and the walls, and you take 2 points of superficial damage. As the entity again tells you, this time, to fuck off. And that's the point that Lazarus Kane comes skidding around. He looks like he's straight out of a massacre. His hair is completely undone and wild all around his shoulders. It looks as if he's been dealing with his own beast and its ferocity. His mouth is still dripping blood. His fangs are descended, and he tells you all to move. And he stalks to the bed like I almost used the phrase like a predator in heat, but this is not sexy. It's not sexy.
Still sexy.
I mean, he might look nice, but he isn't. It's not. You know what I mean? It's like, this is a serious moment. This is scary. We're afraid. What the 3 of you can sense from Lazarus is he's a bit unhinged. So whether or not you actually let him intervene and assist with Mads, that's up to you.
I don't get in the way.
I don't
If that makes
let him.
sense.
Yeah, I don't let him. And I say, you are not going near her like looking like in this state. You need to calm the fuck down.
Okay.
And she just goes over to Mads and she looks at her and she's like, "Are you the person I met yesterday?"
Oh, okay. He makes his frenzy check. Viola, you say that to him in this snarl that rips from his throat and echoes through the room, literally causes cracks in the ceiling from the light fixture. Xirus, do you intervene? So you get a chance to intervene before he uses his disciplines.
No, I think he trusts. Trust him.
Even in this state, you're gonna choose to trust. Just making sure.
It's like he trusts, but he's like ready to
Okay.
act.
So like
You know.
scalpels in the hand, just in case.
Mhm.
Basically, that's how Lukas is like
Okay.
gun in hand, like, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and he would probably give Lukas that look, kind of like, be prepared.
Okay. All right. Oh boy.
It's fine.
Viola, I am gonna need you to make some rolls.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
fuck.
I'm trying. I am very nervous, just to let everybody know. I tend to laugh when I'm nervous, so it's not like, ah, laugh. It's more like, oh god, panic laugh. I'm trying to be Alright, what rolls do you need me to make?
An intelligence and a resolve.
Ooh, I have a little bit of intelligence, but I have a kind of resolve. Ooh. I am going to rouse the blood. Because I kind of... Can I do that?
If you do, he does.
Okay.
So yes, you may.
Okay. Because, like, he just did that, right? He just roused the blood, if I'm not mistaken. So is he gonna do it again, or...?
He has not technically roused the blood. He's just feral.
Okay, yeah, alright. Maybe not beast against beast is not her thing. Can I use a discipline? Is that any possible way?
You can use the discipline if it is free, but if it costs you to rouse the blood, then so does he.
Okay. That's fair. Because I was gonna say... Okay, I'm I'm gonna try this roll. We'll see what happens. All right, so intelligence, so that's 5. I like how I have like everything is like 5 dice today. All right, chat. Now's a great time to help out. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna re-roll all of those. So, all of them. Can I re-roll all of them?
With a chat reroll, yes, yes, you may.
Oh no, I don't have any chat re-rolls. How many can I do? I have to with the normal willpower?
3.
Okay, and I'm gonna do the 3 because I only got 1 success. Come on, dice. Okay, so that is. Oh shit! I only have 1 critical and 2 successes. Like the double onk and then the 2.
So you have 2 onks with the stars on the sides?
I only have 1. Oh no, that's what a critical is. Oh no, I just have 1 onk with a star on the sides, and then I have 2 regular ones.
So 3 successes.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is gonna hurt.
All right. So his thought is to use Terminal Decree and make you end yourself. Oh, he wants to. And Lukas and Xirus, you can feel the power, but he resists. He makes his resolve and his composure.
And he takes in an unneeded breath.
Because you're important to Mads O'Shea. He won't harm you. But he tells you,
Leave from my sight. If I can smell you, you're too close. So walk and keep walking. When you get past the tree line, sit on your knees like a pet.
I'm going to call in my favor and tell you to calm down and back down and let us help Mads.
since you did not beat his 8,
Ooh, yeah, no way.
your words are... But he understands the meaning in your eyes. So instead, he pushes into your mind that you will go sit on the couch. And that's it.
I have to do it right because it's a dominate.
You have to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. She complies, but like, she's just looking at him like, all right, but you need to calm the fuck down.
Okay.
That's all she wants, is just him to...
When you're on the couch, Kadal, only in his leathers and his gloves on, puts a hand on your shoulder, and then, since you're wearing his coat and his shirt, he peers into the room, and he seems unfazed. Even as Lazarus approaches Mads, and Mads begins to hiss. Her body, its hackles if it were a great beast rising, and she stands on the bed, her body twisting at an unnatural angle, and that masculine voice tells Lazarus to leave. And then we cut over to Blythe. Vice is sitting, he, like a little mermaid, out of the water, pulls himself up onto the dock, sits, the still lit cigar he brings to his mouth, and he inhales deeply. And as you're like running, he's like, "Oh, are you all right? You're running quite fevering. Is it because you want to take a look?"
Mads! No, there's something wrong with Mads.
What?
You should probably come up. Maybe put your. You know what? I don't care. But there's definitely something wrong with Mads. She's not herself right now. There's something going on.
Oh, fuck.
And he pulls on his underwear, which are very small, and then the little shorts, which are booty shorts, and he skips when he runs, basically. Arms kind of up, swinging like a schoolgirl, but he's very fast.
I love it.
But it's quite delicate. He actually blinks across the distance, far quicker than you, and he
I can't do that.
he slides open the open the sliding glass door further and then, like, ties it off really quickly because, you know, he's a gentleman. He'll open it for you and he'll be like, come on now, Blythe, like, run. All right, just keep running, darling. I'm holding the door with my mind. And then he's gone.
Let's go. She like waves him like, just keep going. I'm coming.
And then he blinks into the room. And as he does so, both Lukas and Xirus and Viola, that you all get wet because he's just like, shoo, and it just kind of sprays everywhere.
Nice.
And he's unneeded, like heaving, and is like, Lazarus Kane. And Lazarus just holds up his palm, like, shut the fuck up, I'm busy. And then he begins to speak in an ancient language, and this creature speaks back at him, and it sounds like straight possession. And it is a horrible 10 seconds as Mads, like a feral cat, leaps on Lazarus, one of her fists going through his stomach, with a sickening bite and twist. But now that she's close, Lazarus grabs her under the arms and locks her into him. That impalement. And then he apologizes, and the sound of his forehead smashing into her nose is brutal. It is disgusting. And Vice is like, oh my god, it's a face you're ruining! Don't do that! Oh, and he's cringing. But everything stills. Completely. And utterly. And as bad as it sounded, it is only a minor cut, split open her forehead. And she is slightly bleeding down her nose, into her own mouth. And you all notice that's in the room, that Lazarus is also bleeding from his mouth. And you realize that the headbutt was actually forcing the entity to take his blood. It just so happened that they smashed faces, and there was pain. Vice is immediately in between them, and then looks at Xirus. Do you have a kit to sew this up with?
Of course. And he goes out and tells Viola, quick, to the pantry. Here's my medical kit. Go get it now.
Hearing your words, Lazarus drops his dominate on her. You're allowed to move normally.
Viola does as instructed from, because he would know where that is, right?
Yeah, you've been in the house.
Okay, thank God. Yep, she does that and just like goes to the doctor really quick and looks at Mads and kind of like eyes wide, like what the fuck? That's what the sound was.
And then, very slowly and carefully, Vice has Lukas help him remove Mads' fist from Lazarus without pulling any bones. So I need you to roll a dexterity and athletics. And Lazarus seems completely unbothered by the fact that her fist is through his middle.
I got 2 successes.
Okay, you manage to extract it, even though the fist is like broken, frozen, like in a, it's not broken, it's like frozen in a claw, but you manage to like wiggle it out without pulling anything out, and surprisingly there's like no blood, because he hasn't roused the blood. It's just like this gaping hole. In a corpse. Yeah. And Mads is not quite herself yet, and Vice is like, you need to go clean up before she sees you. How do you think she's going to feel? Horrible. And Lazarus is just looking at Mads with pride. Like he's impressed. And then when the gaze slowly drops down to Vice, there is a threat in a different language. It sounds Italian. Does anyone speak Italian? All right. Vice, if he could be paler, would pale. And then Lazarus gets this feral grin. And it continues in Italian. But then he moves aside for you to stitch him up, Dr. Fletcher, as Viola hands you the implements. And this is the point that Blythe, panting, even though she doesn't need to, comes back in. I'm here.
Everything work okay. Oh, right. All right. Whew. Okay. I'll just stay out here in the hall. It's awfully crowded in there. Is everything okay though?
For now.
Vice is holding on to Mads, who seems to be in a stupor, soaking the bed. Lazarus is sitting quietly, fists at his side. I need you to roll your science, human anatomy, and an intelligence for me, Doctor, as you stitch.
Uh, 9.
Okay, you make swift work of it. It's an easy 1, 2, 3, do, 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 do. And he's done. Then you take some rags and clean up the blood. He says,
Thank you.
Of course.
Apologies. I know, I understand this is your domain.
You did precisely what was necessary at the moment. It's nothing to apologize for.
and Vice finishes like cleaning up Mads. And there's a little band-aid on her cheek. And then, Dr. Fletcher, could you please? You could have concaved her skull. Hell, you could have hit her hard enough, Lazarus, that you almost beheaded her with the sheer force of your power. Do you forget what you're capable of doing? And Lazarus says,
I don't forget nearly as often as you. You need to be honest, Vice.
and I'm going to shower. And then we'll talk about honesty. Using your strength on a fledgling who's already seen Oblivion and forcing her to sit on the couch. She was defending her friend. And Lazarus tilts his head and says,
Funny, you weren't even in the house. So how do you know that, Vice?
and Vice pales a little bit. Oh, I'm really fast. I was already in the house. Right, Blythe? I saw everything.
I mean, you were faster than me.
Precisely. I'm quick on my
What
feet.
was that? Vice. Who's protecting her?
What do you mean?
It's the darkness, isn't it? It's whatever's in her. The shadows. Oblivion, as you call it. It's that, isn't it?
Vice's eyes are kind of bouncing between all of you, and he's getting that nervous chuckle.
She has her Viola folds her arms. You're trying to protect Mads, but it seems like all you're doing is hurting her.
Vice. The reason why this happened was because she knows she's missing memories.
Well,
So unless you tell us, she's gonna find her own answers.
I'm not having this conversation.
and he leaves the room.
Would you rather us help her find the answers?
I'm not having this
Or she
conversation right
finds it
now.
herself?
The answer is no. I am not having this conversation right now.
Then when will it happen?
Certainly at a better time.
And he, just walks down the hallway and stops. And that's the point that Mads comes to.
I follow Vice very quick.
I sit down on the bed and hold Mads' hand.
I was actually going to go after Vice too, so I guess we're both going after
So,
her.
where does Lukas go?
With all the encircling emotions, he's like I'm just going to go outside before I hurt somebody. Because your tension is suffocating me. It's like a shot advice because he's afraid of something. And unfortunately, Lukas smells it. So he needs to separate himself from the situation.
Okay, so you head outside. You find that Kadal follows, a quiet sentinel, sensing a threat. But he doesn't entertain your space. But he is also outside, watching.
Like watching me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kadal knows what you are. Of course. He's not gonna let a live grenade just go do what it wants, just in case it blows up.
Awesome.
Blythe and Xirus, pause on yours. Mads, you're coming to very slowly, and Viola is holding your hand. What are your first words when you're back? Lazarus Kane is standing near the bed, but Viola is sitting holding you, and it's wet under your butt.
Did it work? I didn't pee myself, did I?
No, you didn't, darling. You didn't.
When did you get here? Where did the doctor go? Where's Blythe?
You lost consciousness again, didn't you? You don't remember?
No, the doctor was helping me.
You see that there are several, like, body-sized holes in the room. And some blood.
Her eyes kind of widen. It happened again. Didn't it?
It did. It did. I don't know exactly what triggered it, but it seems that maybe the doctor was looking you over and it came out.
He wasn't. I asked him to figure out if I could get my memories back. Figure out what was wrong with me.
Ice and Mads, whatever is in there is very dangerous and doesn't like any of us. And unfortunately, I don't really have a good idea or the knowledge to tell you. But what I can say is that Laz came in and saved you. And whatever is in there, we'll find the answers to. You deserve to know the truth. It's your life, and you deserve to know what is inside you.
Are you afraid of me? Did I scare you again?
No, not this time, because I knew what I was dealing with. And it's never you that scares me. It's the unknown. It's not knowing if in one moment I'm going to die again, or if in the next I'm going to hurt someone. Mads, it's okay. You're going to be okay, and we're going to find this truth. We need, I think, more than anything, I think you need to find out what this is, because I think this will unlock something. But whatever it is that is in you is fiercely protecting you, making sure that no one comes near you, no one And it comes out when you're wounded or... But I'm not clear. I honestly don't know. I think Laz and Vice do. And I hope that someday, soon, maybe today, that'd be great, they let you know what it is, because you have a right to know. It's your body. It's your soul. And I want you to know that whatever happens, we're here for you. Everyone is.
Mads pulls Viola into a hug. And she says, "You know, sometimes you should listen to your own advice too."
Well, I guess we're both stubborn. We need to listen to each other's advice, but that's what friends are for. And she just hugs her tighter. And she kind of stands up and looks at Laz and nods her head and leaves.
He nods reluctantly back. You can tell that there is a part of him that despises you and your everything, like down to the fact that you're a Toreador like Vice. Like, just God, it literally presses every one of his buttons. But in that nod, there is also a respect. He understands. As bitter as piss as he is.
Yeah, I kind of like seeing that. I'm just like, I'm mad. I think Viola is just quite angry at Vice right now. So she's like, I don't want to talk to him. So she's like, I'm just going to go outside and cool down, because apparently that's just like, I need some fresh air, even though I can't breathe. She gives him their time alone, hoping that he'll say something.
Lazarus pulls you up into his arms. Big palms
What happened?
on either side of your face. And as you ask that, you can see his expression rearranges itself, steeling himself to tell you the truth, whether it hurt you or not.
Ancient kindred are able to do impressive things. Including influencing, while they are in torpor, the world around them. I see you, Mads O'Shea. I see you more clearly than I see the stars in the night sky on a cloudless night where no moon and no city follows.
And he kisses your forehead. And there's just a tense silence as he gathers his thoughts. There's a gentle, sway to his body, because he doesn't like to hold still, really, while he contemplates. He's much more a prowler, a man of action.
I think you are being influenced by a very powerful kindred. Perhaps one that is no longer walking the earth. I cannot say for certain. Vice Brown. probably knows more. Fucking Vice Brown. A man who thinks he is invincible.
And he kind of steps away from you, chuckling. And then he, like, runs his hands through his hair. And his hair is down, like, not bound, which is very rare for him.
She'd probably reach out and kind of gently take a strand in her hand and just drag her fingers through it.
That pauses his movement. And he looks at you.
I am guessing, but I believe Vice Brown has done something of a I think he has submerged in your conscious hidden truths that you are not allowed to find. And I think he uses you to watch the world around. He knows things he should not know, and he has the entire lifetime of our connection. A liar, a traitor, and a murderer. And it still stands true. Even his most precious, he uses as a tool.
Her hand would drop
Whatever
to her side.
Whatever he has done,
And he takes her hand that's fallen.
whatever the truth is, I want you to understand I have never lied to you. And I will show you every ugly truth there is to know about me. And you can make your choice. Every day for the rest of forever. Mads, I know you want whatever is broken between us to mend. But so much of me wishes to crush him under heel. Please understand. His death would be a release for so many. Even you.
She looks down at the ground. What do you want from me? What do you want from me, Lazarus Kane? Do you want me to turn away from the person who brought me back from oblivion? And turn my back on the one I...
No,
I'm not heartless.
I know that. I know you are different than myself. I understand that. You are the last piece of dawn and daylight. The fading red of a sunset that I will never see again. I know you, Matoshe, and I know you won't leave him. And I won't ask you to. As to what I want from you, nothing that you are not willing to give. But if all you can give me is your hatred, because I cannot forgive him, then I will take it. If you wish to beat me, I will let you. If you wish to love me, I will let you. Think of my body as a temple for you to explore and use. My mind, a creature to command. Me, your humble servant. Because I have lost the way. And humanity is... It is far away. It's taken a different ship out to sea. I don't remember. The only star I have to guide me is you. Make your own decision, and that I will respect. But understand, I think Vice did this to you himself. I think your condition is from his profane arts. Digging where he should not dig, finding himself invincible, but not knowing he is just a man. That is what I believe.
And he steps back and holds his palms out to either side.
I wish it was less complicated. But this is our reality.
Do you have anything you'd like to say?
She's going to take a step forward and put her hands in his open palms. I will not hate you for being unable to forgive. But I hope that you will not hate me for loving someone that you cannot. Because as much as I believe that there is... Clearly there are secrets. I still believe that Vice loves me.
He can't meet your eyes. And you know it's because he understands that about Vice. It's true.
Let me figure out what's going on. Let me learn about myself.
He nods.
Can I ask you something?
He nods again.
Will you stay by my side?
There's a pause.
That ship of humanity that's out to sea? Let's go get it together. We'll bring it back. Just I have enough love in my heart for you, for Vice, for the people here. I will not abandon one for the other. And I will not abandon you. Will you let me be your light?
You are the only light I see, Mads O'Shea. Powerful as I am.
And he glances around, worried that someone's listening. And then he pulls you outside. Down onto the grass. Till you're quite a distance from the house. And then he lets you go and he paces for a moment. He glances back at the house and around, his shoulders, behind his back, checking the vicinity, and finally he admits. And oh, can you sense his beast riling beneath the surface, a bloody howl as he admits a weakness.
I am afraid. When I lost my Vice, when I lost him, Mads O'Shea, I would rather be a monster than feel that pain again. You are all I have to show me, and I would rather we leave the boat where it is.
And all of his features take on more of a monstrous cast. His nails descend into claws, his fangs down into it is murderous intent below his flesh, as his beast wants no one to hear this. The vulnerability is insane. And when you go to speak, he quickly closes the distance in a blink and he covers your mouth and he says, "No, let's not speak anymore. Just let me hold you." No words. No words. And he begins to shake Mads as he curls around you and you realize that he is crying. And he is clinging to you like you are the anchor in a hurricane. You are the shelter against the blizzard. You are it. The last thread before the tapestry completely unweaves. The final light at the end of a long road that plummets into nothing but the dark. It is you. And you alone. That last slash of sunrise, that vibrant red that he has been painting year after year after year upon hundreds of paintings that he tried to burn, he tried to run, and still all he saw was his angel in the sun. You're it. And as the camera pans back, there is Vice. Standing just as uncomfortably as Lazarus Kane, only in a hallway with Blythe and Cyrus in front of him. And he is quaking. All right. Xirus and Blythe.
No. Nice. Yeah. As a one father to another. We cannot control. We cannot wait for the perfect time sometimes. I know it's scary. Trust me. You should have seen me when I first heard that Amelia had the love interest. But as a father, it is better to be there by their side and walk them through it than try to shield them from something they will eventually experience themselves.
This is not exactly a life lesson, Xirus. This is a phenomenal level of fucked up. This is my daughter losing a war. And I will take every advantage, even if I have to take it against her. She won't lose. Queens never lose. So fine, if I have to be hated and the bad guy and the overbearing father, I'm going to be. I can't let her fail. You understand?
Of course. I'm not asking you to fail her. I'm asking you to fight with her.
Well,
let her fight with you.
She isn't strong enough, Xirus. She...
All I'm saying, Vice, she has already found patience with you. I've helped you with that. But eventually, she will try to find it herself. And whether you are there by her side, join that or not, will be up to you. But the more you hold back, hide the world from her, the more she will seek it herself. That is all.
And he just
In the end-
sighs and closes his eyes as you're saying this.
In the end, it is your decision. No one else can tell you when or how to open up to her about these things, but I just hope that once that door opens, it is because you are there with her, and not because her curiosity has put her there.
Oh, for fuck's sake, her curiosity.
Do you say anything, Blythe?
She looks like she keeps going to speak, and then like Dr. Fletcher speaks, and like she's just like nods in agreement, and she says, I mean, I agree with everything that the doctor is saying. I mean, in the short time I've known her, she's absolutely the type that she's gonna dig for that information. I mean, that's what she was just barely trying to do in that room. You know? She was trying to find the answers that you won't give her. I know that I barely know you, and I barely know her, and I do know that she's important, and that you are important to her, and I know that whatever you're hiding from her, she'll forgive you. Because that's the kind of person she is.
Of course she'll forgive me. She shouldn't. I've already failed her multiple times in her life.
But she will.
Well, I don't want to give her another reason to forgive me. Isn't it just better if she just doesn't scratch and she just lets it be?
She's not gonna let it be.
Well, why not?
Because
As her friend, you could just be like, well, maybe you shouldn't scratch that itch. Let it heal
Because
naturally.
it's in our nature.
Well, it's stupid. Right? It's better to let the freaky woman that's under the fucking hospital be there, right? Instead of scratching it. We've all agreed? I mean, I've spoken to her. I think she's a lovely, frightening woman, but... And he shrugs. We're leaving it alone, right? It's a problem, but we're ignoring it. Doesn't mean it goes away, but...
Because we have other things we have to do.
There we are! We have other things we have to do. We should not go delving into Mads O'Shea's past. We should leave my Madison as she is, pristine and fine and safe.
But this is pressing.
What?
Vice.
Whatever's happening, it's not...
only pressing, and he gets really serious, because she's pushing. It's only pressing because everyone wants to know what's up in that skull of hers. And this is the most serious and feral you've ever seen him.
Vice.
Cyrus?
Wouldn't you rather be the person to teach her how to swim? Because eventually those waves will crashing down on her, and you may not be there to help her.
I gesture at the doctor, like, that.
You may control as much as what she seeks, but from what I saw, that wave will come through that door.
Well, this wasn't a problem until she decided she was going to save everyone. It wasn't a problem until...
Exactly. Can you control everything that she decides? Will you be there when she decides to open the door? And will she be ready for it? Or will she be left in the dark, not knowing how to swim?
Look, I'm trying to make a point that she shouldn't open the fucking door, and we should leave the goddamn door as it is.
That
What
door's
about
not
you?
gonna hold forever. Whether we open it or not, eventually that door may open. As parents,
Go ahead.
there's only so much we can protect our children from the outside world. But it is our duty to make sure they are prepared for it. Not to be prepared to take on their lives, their world, anything that comes after them, when we are no longer there to walk with them.
I'm just asking you to be there and guide her as opposed to shield her.
I need one of you to roll a charisma and persuasion. And he begins to pace towards the kitchen and then back around. Like he's just all movement.
Charisma and persuasion? I'm pretty good at this. Should I take this one, Doctor?
Yeah, I got fuck all on that. If you want me to read a book to him, I can do that.
All right. Okay, that's gonna be 1 crit for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay. When he pauses at the broken island and he looks at the both of you, there is anguish and unshed tears. And he motions with his fingers splayed out down below him and then to himself as he's talking. And he says,
I understand what you're telling me. I do. Father to father, it is imperative to teach your children and to train them for this ugly world of darkness that we live in. I understand. But what I need you to understand, Xirus Fletcher, is that I have already failed her in this specific regard. So what do? I use my talents and skills, and I staple it all back together. A psyche barely held on by threads, noise and a cacophony of pain. And I bury it. I bury it like any father would. And I carry on. Everything fine, delightful, shining, glittering, lovely.
He walks up to him, puts his hand on his shoulder.
Xirus, she's
Trust me.
already drowned.
Blythe, trust me. I know what it feels like to try to staple everything back together.
You don't, Xirus. Because you're a good father. You're a good man.
Listen.
You do the right thing at the right time. You don't.
Listen. When I lost Iris, all the power and skill that I have developed to preserve what is most beautiful in this world was not enough. I was too late. I could not preserve, could not save her. There was nothing I could do. You say Mads O'Shea has already drowned, yet she's here to hold you. You say you have already failed her, yet I see someone strong and curious, standing by your side. Don't wait till you have to truly bury her. Not like me.
He closes his eyes, and a single drop of blood slides down his cheek.
Do you want to know how many people I've failed in my life?
You know, we doctors are not perfect either. We fail many. It's not about the failures. It's about those we can save when we have time.
Because you try and fail sometimes doesn't mean you should give up. You don't have to be alone.
The
We all
moment we let
care.
those failures stop us from trying, that is when we truly fail.
He pulls away from you. And he exits the kitchen. And then he heads for the side entrance to go outside, even though he's in these tiny shorts, dripping wet still. barefoot. There is a feeling of him being half convinced. I need both of you to roll a wits and insight.
Five?
2.
Because the both of you are so in tuned to the character arc here, Vice is not over losing his lovers. Every single one that he carried and he took care of and then ultimately buried. That does something to a kindred so deep and so profound it changes the foundations. So as you watch after him, his shoulders disappear through the side door, and you hear it gently click closed. Both of you look at each other. You don't think he's going to tell Mads of his own volition.
Xirus will just place his hand on Blythe's back and kind of gesture her towards back to Mads. Come on. Not all the wounds that are closed are fully healed yet.
Right. Wait, real quick. There was something I wanted to tell you.
Yes.
Michael. He still lingers. Here. He's... Just so you know, if you have anything left to say or whatnot, he'll hear you.
As she says this, Xirus, you remember the cup that was very slightly moved, as if touched by unseen hands.
He will give a small smirk.
Or maybe a message, I'm still here.
Just so you know.
Michael?
Are you in the kitchen?
I
Wherever
think we
were,
are
I think
still in
we're
the
last.
kitchen, yeah, because Vice went to the kitchen, and that's where we like caught up with him.
The lights flicker.
I'll leave you to be.
It's okay. No, just wanted to say, never got to say thank you. Well, your family will be in good hands. And no, I am not drinking too much. Just enough. But you are dismissed. Please, get some rest, my friend.
Oh, that made me tear up.
Right, it's fine.
Oh,
I've just been over here crying most of the session, actually. It's fine.
All right. Then we slide over to our last scene. Lukas,
Yes.
you aren't alone for long after Kadal joins you. But what surprises you is Kadal's attempt to converse with you before Viola will arrive at a dramatically appropriate moment.
Like, you tried to have like small talk?
Not exactly. He cuts actually straight to the sauce because he is more monster than person. So
Yeah.
he says,
Someone you care for is in danger. I can smell it.
and his eyes are the only thing that's glowing in the dark, and they're just red, and the rest of him like blends into the shadows. Occasionally there's a flash of his teeth as he's talking. It's quite unnerving, but you think he's trying to be friendly. You think.
No, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
kind of the same feeling as like a feral rabid raccoon trying to give you cheese. That's a really weird analogy.
I love it. It's good. I like that. And you would be correct.
You going to tell the coterie?
I don't know.
Fool. There's a reason you're all together. You should probably tell them.
You're right.
I know.
Sorry, Lukas.
If you need to expel some of your violence, I am more than willing to commit violence upon you and you upon me.
But like we fight it out.
Correct.
I ain't gonna say no.
But if I kill you, what are your last words?
Well, keep fighting. Simple.
Fair enough. Shall we begin now, or after you tell the coterie?
Probably after I tell them.
Very well.
Probably the smarter thing to do.
And we shall make this more difficult for each other. In the lake is where we will fight. Neither of us exactly need to breathe. But it will automatically and immediately clean up any blood, correct? And then the sun will blaze it away.
And he chuckles.
All right, that's fair enough.
He nods. And that's about the point that you fall into sort of a silence between the two of you. And then he just reaches from the shadows opposite of where he's standing. His arm literally reaches unnaturally as if he's moving through the shadows themselves. And he's holding a lighter and cigarette out to you.
He'll take it.
Okay? This is a hand-rolled cigarette. And when you take it and you get it a little close, it smells like blood. And then he himself, when he lit his, you have no idea. But from the shadows, the arm like retracts, and then from the opposite side of where the arm offered you the smoke, he steps out onto the porch. But the lights on the porch begin to flicker and dim at his presence. And when he exhales, it is red smoke that smells like rust and copper. Ooh, it is sickly sweet.
These don't compare to any of my cigarettes.
It's because it's one of mine.
If I don't die fighting you, kind of want another one.
Then we'll wager. I will give you all 19 I have made. If you beat me.
Deal.
Done. Whoever stakes the other first loses.
All right.
And he holds out his hand, his gloved hands, for a shake.
He just willingly just shakes his hand.
Okay. And Kadal is just grinning with a lethal intensity. And he sucks back a lot of that red smoke, exhaling. And when he blows it out, you realize what it is, Lukas. The two of you are smoking blood. But this is not mortal blood. And you actually pull the cigarette away to look at it. And if you'd like to examine it any further, you have to make a roll. Or you could ask him. But
He'll just cut to the point of, this isn't normal blood, I'm assuming.
he starts stepping down the steps to head towards the lake.
No. It is kindred.
And he exhales,
Nice and old.
and then he just keeps walking. He pauses once to turn back to you to say something. Decides against it because he would have to yell it. So it's up to you, Lukas, if you follow him or not. Granted, you still need to tell the coterie, but...
I almost said Kyler, fuck. Lucas just pulls out of his phone and just types out a message to them,
Okay.
hits send, and then leaves his phone on the porch.
Okay.
And then follows after Kadal.
Okay. As you catch up with Kadal, there's this satisfied kind of grin. He revels in the violence, though usually he's really calm. He's experiencing a change, which the only way for a kindred to experience change is the moving up or moving down of their humanity, which, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's not a good thing. That remains to be seen. Either way, he's acting a little bit, very slightly out of character with the violence because he's very contained, typically. Similar to Xirus. But he tells you,
I was worshipped once.
Like a god?
Like a god. And all around me, enlightenment. A temple, like a smorgasbord for me to decide who stays, who goes. Ultimately, I devoured each and every one.
he takes another inhale.
Factions of kindred have ruled the world since the beginning. But Sabat tastes the best.
He just kind of points to the cigarette, I'm assuming.
And Kadal nods.
Her name is Esther. She was very old.
I'm not even that old of a vampire. I believe you.
He gets a face.
I tend to keep my head out of all of that.
It gets boring. But it's still fun and enjoyable occasionally. But my interests lie elsewhere.
Violence?
Shakes his head no.
Peace.
Hmm.
If I have to
I can agree with that.
commit violence for peace, so be it.
Yeah. I can agree with you on that. Violence for peace.
He nods. And the two of you continue to smoke. Until the allotted time where you will fight. However, as the two of you were stepping out onto the grass, headed for the lake, Viola, you step out onto the porch and your phone goes off. Being that you are the only one not occupied in a significant scene, you are the first to read the message. Inu, what does the message say?
Settling an agreement with Kadal. And if it goes well, I'm going to go find Kyler.
Do you write at all that he's missing?
I do. I do write that, yeah. And that's all he'll really write out.
Okay, you're the first one to read that, Viola. And you see that Lucas's phone is on the railing and that he and Kadal are both smoking and headed for the lake. So you have a choice to follow them, to catch up to them, to communicate. Or anything thereof you could think of. What do you do?
Oh god. Shit. I need a moment. I'm sorry. This is a lot. God. All right. Viola is going to take Lucas's phone and put it in one of the pockets. I don't know. I'm assuming this jacket has a pocket.
Oh yeah, it's got a lot of pockets. You actually, if you look, you'll find like all sorts of hidden holy implements to kill fucking vampires. And there's literally like a vampire's heart in a small jar.
And she's like,
There's some weird shit in here. Like there's literally like a tin can of like vampire fangs because this motherfucker collects them. Yeah.
Well, okay, I'll say that after this session, but she just puts it in a pocket. She's like, she doesn't have time to think about it, but like for her, she just puts Lucas's phone in her pocket, and she goes after them. Just wearing what she is, no shoes, by the way.
No shoes, no underwear.
Nope, just a shirt and jacket. This is perfect. Great.
The
good
jacket
times.
does trail on the ground though. As you rush after them, you catch up to them as they're stopping by the dock, and what do you say?
She looks at Lucas, and she looks at Kadal, and she says, "Just know that neither of you are dying, and if one of you gets smacked around, I'll bring you back. I promise." And she takes a step back and lets them do their thing.
And she says, I'll be watching over you, just in case. I want people to know. Something to be here. But I know both of you seem to have business, and Lukas. Could Viola tell that Lukas seemed unsettled? Because he did mention like all the things that he felt really uncomfortable earlier, right?
I think he did. Did you?
Yeah. He's not looking at you, but he's not hiding the fact that he's angry. And it's really hard.
Noticing this, she's like, Kyla is gone. Are you sure you want to do this and be in such a state before finding him first?
If I go looking for him right now, I'll kill a lot of people.
She looks
Doesn't matter who's in my way. If I die going.
We may be losing time doing this. I hope you realize that.
I know.
And she goes to Kadal and just looks at him and she says, I trust you. I hope you know that.
Katal nods. And then he licks the tip of his cigarette that's not quite all done, and he says, remember,
You beat me, you get all 19.
and then he grabs the coat pocket, Viola, and he tugs you close, and it's like, oh, like you feel a little uncomfortable suddenly, Lukas. And he slowly slides it into the hidden pocket. And the look that he gives you, Viola, and then in his home tongue, he calls you a saucy minx.
I don't know that.
You have no idea what that means, but
Nope.
you're kind of picking up what he's putting down, and then he drops his hand.
No. I don't let that happen. No. He's not going to be able to call me anything and just, like, get away with it. I fucking kiss him. Sorry, Lukas. This is about a little bit of PDA here. No.
Lukas is just fine. He's just going to finish, just keep working on his cigarette while y'all doing your thing. Whatever.
Yeah, she just gives him, like, that deep, like, just knowing kiss. And she just tells to Lukas, good luck.
Oh boy. He'll like put out the cigarette and then take off his like little vest that he's got on, and just leaves his like long sleeve shirt that he just rolls up. I'm really glad she's not here to see this. She'll kill me. I'm ready whenever you are.
He looks at you, looks at Viola, checks his pockets, takes his boots off, and he dives into the water.
You're right, shoes. Who needs them? He takes his shoes off, and then follows suit. You know?
And we end with Kadal rising out of the water, the darkness swirling around him, and he is like a giant serpent crashing into Lukas, disappearing below the waves. We're gonna end there.
Sick.
Damn, I'm fighting a giant snake.
Yeah.
It's gonna go great.
Hidal is actually a creature out of my nightmares. Just putting that out there. Like, he's cool, but like, whew, He scares me.
Viola was
He's a creature of my sex dream. I mean, my what? Sorry.
Yeah, right.
Viola was fighting his giant snake too.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Holy shit! Trust me, it's bigger than you think. It's bigger than you think. Oh my god! No!
I'll give you a clap for that one, buddy. I appreciate it. That was good. That was good. Thanks, man.
Oh man, that's good. I can't. Holy fuck.
Thank you all so much for joining us for this week's episode of Salem by Night. You can catch all the previous episodes up on my YouTube and the one shot.